land sculptures that I'm creating can cover 1 to 6 kilometres. I've got a vision to create many of these sites around the world. They will all involve heritage and history and looking forward. So far, we've worked in Israel, Chile and Sri Lanka. And this time, we're in Bolivia.
International sculptor Andrew Rogers has come to Bolivia to create 3 new land sculptures, or geoglyphs. Bolivia is a land of rugged landscapes and rich cultures. It's also home to the stunning Andes Mountains. Once ruled by the mighty Incas, Bolivia was conquered in the 16th century by the Spanish. They came looking for silver and discovered the largest deposits ever found at Potosi. Situated high in the Andes, Potosi is the highest city in the world and is dominated by the mountain of Cerro Rico.
So what is fascinating about Potosi? Why come here? It has a recent colonial history. It was one of the richest areas in the New World and a wonderful indigenous heritage.
Invited by the Bolivian authorities, Andrew has come to Potosi to attempt his most ambitious project yet.
One of the key people is Golan Levy. This is his 6th project. He's brought with him his friend Tidhar Becker. This is your local image.
Su imagen local.
And the way we do this, you can see the image there. And here you can see it in outline. And we are going to create this figure here also. This figure is all to do with the rhythms of our lives. So you can see this is the outline. What I'm doing here is creating probably the largest contemporary art site in the world at the greatest elevation above sea level.
The first work will be the Rhythms of Life, next to Cerro Rico, Mountain of Riches.
I've got to tell you, this is a fantastic site. It's, first of all, next to a World Heritage Area. You won't find anything better. It's a wonderful, clear atmosphere. We're up at high altitude, 4,200 metres. We have a fantastic assortment of materials to work with here. The rocks are beautiful, great colours, great shapes. Okay, Golan, how does this look if this is the top of the geoglyph?
My name is Golan. I'm an architect by profession.
3 years ago, Andrew asked Golan to help him build the Rhythms of Life in the Arava Desert in Israel.
And I was thinking to myself, this could be quite an adventure. And here I am, 6 sculptures afterwards, sitting on a rock doing the same thing. So actually, you're talking about building here. Everything will be here.
Well, no, it'll be this way.
It's all Golan's fault. Andrew asked for another architect and Golan suggested me. I said, why not?
So we're going to build here going from left to right, 100 metres across and 100 metres down.
And this is going to be the main ridge line. So we're talking about this.
So what I'm talking is this ridge line of rocks here is this curve here that we're standing on, straight down here, yeah?
Yes. Like this?
Yeah.
So 5 more.
Stop.
Leaving Golan in charge of the first site, Andrew and Tidhar look for the second site.
So the difficulty is if we build low, where the reforestation is, the form will be lost. So we have to build above the tree lines. It's a bit hard to get used to the altitude, first day on the mountain.
Not much oxygen. Even the altitude is a challenge here. Walking up each morning a kilometre up.
At 4,200 metres, the site is the equivalent of being halfway up Mount Everest.
If we put the dancing figure, the leg can go towards one indentation and the other leg can go towards this indentation over here.
This dancing shaman site under the cliffs will be Tidhar's responsibility to manage.
So we can make the cap where that flat rock is, And you can see the points here jutting out from his head. They're probably a feathered headdress, so it's a figure of power. That's what you see when you go back and you unearth graves of this period.
2 sites have now been chosen. But before work can begin, the project must be blessed in the Pachamama ceremony, performed by the local shaman.
They have great respect for the land and they consecrate the site you're working on. Their beliefs are very strong and you have to act accordingly and treat them with respect.
Y vamos a pedir a nuestro Pachamama de este lugar, a los espíritus del lugar, a las abuelas machulas de este lugar.
This ceremony is a blessing of the earth and everybody will partake of it, along with coca leaves and some very strong alcohol.
Estamos en buen camino, gracias al Padre Sol, gracias a la Pachamama. Siempre van a acomodar a la vista del sol. Ya, descanso un ratito.
First, we're going to lay out all of the coordinates using 2 surveying teams.
Va a compensar no hacer.
And then we're going to divide our workers into groups. Some of them are going to locate the stones and bring them onto site. The rest of them, the more skillful ones, are going to be the builders.
Because this corner, we build this big.
This time we had to confront with a really tough topography, which was almost impossible to conquer or work with.
We have 200 stone workers here today.
It takes an hour every morning for everyone to walk up the mountain. Everything they need must be provided for. And carried all the way up to the sites.
Senoritas.
It's also a challenge for Andrew to coordinate so many people and to explain the precision of what he wants to achieve.
So one of the difficulties on these sites is always with communications. Okay. What is she saying? This is always difficult because I don't speak Spanish and they don't speak English. Just poquito.
Entiendo, sí.
Okay. Gracias.
First of all, this is the first time I do such a thing. Arrange a site of 100 on 100 meters sculpture, 200 to 240 workers. Building with stones is not something we do in Israel.
While work continues, Andrew was looking for another important local symbol from which to make his 3rd geoglyph. And he's travelling to see the ancient petroglyphs of Betanzos, thought to be 8,000 years old.
The symbols that we work with come from the ideas of the local community. What's exciting is to go looking for these symbols and you'll come to beautiful, pristine rock art that the elders know about and cherish, and that's what they want you to understand because that's their heritage. Here's a wonderful set of concentric circles, beautifully incised into the rock. They're probably ayus or groups of people, either representing families or communities. And you can see there's about 8 or 9 of them here.
Andrew will recreate these ancient circles for his 3rd work.
Which circles have the surveyors surveyed so far? Which have you done?
To manage this site, he's working with local architect Teresa Sumaran Metz.
Por mi origen peruano, realmente me parece súper importante ese trabajo porque estoy un poco reencontrándome con los orígenes de la arquitectura inca.
Well, this site's an extremely difficult site. It's really got a steep slope in it. It's much higher than the second site. It doesn't have as many rocks around the actual site, so they're having to form chains to build from up to 100 metres away. Okay. Let me tell you, these stones are bloody heavy. Oh, a small one. The women I find absolutely amazing, and they don't think it's difficult work, it's work they're used to. And their dress makes it very interesting, coming from a society where women don't wear hats.
Symbols of their earlier, prouder Incan heritage are very important to the local people. Andrew works closely with a local silversmith to make sure that symbols like the dancing shaman of Tarapea aren't forgotten. During Spanish colonial rule in the 1600s, the vast deposits of silver in the mountain made Potosi one of the 5 most influential cities in the world. But the wealth went back to Spain, and 2 million Indian men lost their lives in the mines. These days, the Bolivian economy is struggling, and there isn't enough work to go around, even for people with an education.
Carmen Rosa, Luz, Veronique? Norma. And Veronique is a social worker?
Sí.
Yes. And Luz?
Sí.
So here's Nimia, who's been working with me for 2 weeks with beautiful Lewis on her back. Lewis is 20 months old.
It's 470, I would say.
Yeah, so it's out. It's about this far out.
The rough, uneven ground on Site 1 is making it very hard to lay out Andrew's plan with enough accuracy.
What we've encountered here is telling people to get the latest equipment, which they have, but they don't know how to use it. So they're using old-fashioned hand measuring methods with a tape. And check with Golan, I want him to check your work as he goes along.
Está todo bien. Arquitecto.
It's like the pyramids. A lot of people.
The amount of workers is something we never had before. It's more than 6 times the amount we had last time. We're talking about approximately 300 workers on site. It's so difficult to manage and supervise.
The quality of work is fantastic. These workers come in the morning and they come to work, and till the last whistle, they work. They don't rest for a second. Never complaining, just asking for water and geoglyphs.
It's fantastic to see great holes filled with rocks and then the walls rise 3 metres above them. So that what will really stand out is the form of the sculpture against the landscape. I think he's up here to try and sell some ice creams. Oh, beautiful colours. Okay, we'll take them all. We'll buy all the ice creams and everybody can have an ice cream on the side at lunchtime. Okay?
Goodbye.
This part of the geoglyph has to be perfect. It's very loose. It's like calligraphy. Yes?
Es muy suelto, es como la caligrafía.
Y quiero decirles,
And I would like to say
esta parte
this part
no va a ser posible como esto.
is not going to be possible.
No.
It's a very difficult site. Some of the team find it hard to understand what Andrew is trying to achieve and have their own suggestions on how to fix the problem.
Lo propongo es estirar esto más aquí para que esto venga a dar así como él quiere.
No, you're not listening to me. You're not
No puedo
listening.
inventarme. Ayer hasta tarde me he quedado para poder solucionar esto.
Okay, I tell you what, let's do it together.
Hagámoslo juntos.
Now, you and I will do
Ya,
it
Lo
together.
haremos. Gracias.
Okay. What is the numeral down there?
Delays allow Andrew to revisit the rhythms of life that he built in the Atacama Desert in Chile. He's proven here that it is possible to get the curves perfect.
My geoglyphs were inspired by the NASCAR lines in Peru. Earth art or geoglyphs is a tradition which stretches back thousands of years. And what I'm trying to do is take the components of the earth, the fundamental components, the rocks, the earth, and reformat them into something contemporary and new.
As well as his Rhythms of Life geoglyph, Andrew also built 2 local Chilean symbols in the desert.
The work we're standing on is called Ancient Language. It was the first of 3 geoglyphs. It's a double-headed llama, and Senor Bacalos is a figure of power, which is the recreation of an 8,000-year-old picture glyph. You have the awe and the vista, the great dome of the sky meeting a beautiful desert plain, the plain of patience. These giant constructions, although large in scale, are just a speck on this wonderful landscape.
Back on the Rhythms of Life site, Andrew finds that work hasn't been progressing as well as he'd hoped. The site's problems are far from over.
Well, this wall is wrong. That's what's wrong. This part of it's wrong. This is not curving. Look, it's going in and out. See what's happening with the wall? Look along the top of it.
Más,
Below
unos 5 meters down.
5 meters. Below.
Is this the shortest point or this one? Okay. I want to know which points we're missing and why is that 7 meters short.
Can you explain it to them, because I can't?
Okay. Well, all right. I'll explain it to them.
And on the third site, the Circles team started 4 days later than the others.
So, of course, we're against time to try and get it finished. We're going to try and bring another 100 stonemasons tomorrow. We've got 2.5 circles done, and we've got 2.5 circles to do. So we have 3 more days.
Ya, sí.
Later.
Okay, we've had a wall collapse here. It's on a very steep slope, and the foundations aren't wide enough. But this is very unstable. It'll fall because it's not built correctly.
Everyone's been working so hard, but the problems just keep coming.
It's a little bit risky to go.
We'll see. We'll talk to the engineers about it. They're building up towards this way before they build here.
There's not enough manpower.
Yeah.
I have, by the way, 1 team missing over there. 1 whole team. I don't know why didn't they show up.
Okay. Here, this is no good. I want these small stones taken out because it's unstable.
Yeah.
Okay? Redo it.
Yeah. Rehágalo.
Okay, let's go.
Only 2 days to go now, and Andrew really needs the other 2 sites to be going full steam ahead.
Today we made a big progress.
Tita has completed the outline of the figure and it looks fantastic. You can see its hands and its feet.
Good news at last. By the end of the day, the dancing shaman will be finished.
The lady standing and here.
The dancing shaman stretches over 100 meters across and up this impossibly steep hillside.
So it's okay with you?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And now it's up to the Circles team to see if they can finish on time as well.
It's correct to the plan?
Ya,
You checked?
ya.
Okay. Teresa's done a great job with supervision. The work they're doing is fantastic. It's very traditional. All the stone is beautifully graded and beautifully stacked. It's just very exciting to see the quality of the work.
The last rocks have gone into place, and the Circles geoglyph is finished as well. But what about the Rhythms of Life site?
Okay.
At last, Site 1's luck has turned. and the beauty of the sculpture is emerging on the hillside. It just needs one last push from everyone to get to the finish.
For some people, there are just rocks. For me, they're an opportunity to create wonderful contemporary art. And that's what's exciting and wonderful about this environment in Bolivia.
¡Terminamos! ¡Muchas gracias! ¡Abajo!
This project is about memory. Because what I always say is, without memory, we have nothing. And I hope you're able to show your partners and your children and your grandchildren these three works, and are proud to say that I helped build this. But most of all, I want to thank the 750 people that helped build these three geoglyphs. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Appreciate it. Thank you. My pleasure. It's great to see at the end what a whole community can achieve in terms of history and heritage. Something that I hope will be here for the people to enjoy for a long time, which is a beautiful thing. This has been a wonderful experience for me to finish three forms as I conceived them, as I drew them. What more can one say when you've had such an experience?